All right, this week it's about getting into an article on journaling, and so like the website that I found was like a ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. So with being a .gov website, it's a more reliable source, and like I've said before, you usually want to go with like a .gov and .edu websites over .coms. So what? And the thing is, not all .coms are bad, but with .coms, you also want to double check them as well, since they're not necessarily as good as .gov or .edu, because they can be and tend to be more opinion based and everything, and you have to, like I said, double check with those and everything. And so it's always good when it comes to those, like I said, double check on that. So with this one, like I said, it's a .gov website, so it's going to be more of a beneficial one. And so what this website is actually like a meta-analysis on these studies of journaling when it comes to helping with mental illness. And so in overall, even with being um, uh, meta-analysis, meaning they've checked several different studies and gathered them together and looked at them, like, okay, based on these X amount of studies, this is our conclusion and everything. So and it gets into actually the scientific and psychological aspects of it in the actual article and everything. So the scientific and psychological data that's in there might be over some people's heads, because it's very in depth and it uses lingo that's, in a sense, very big into those types of fields and everything. So the reason why I say it might be over like a lot of people's heads is because if you're not necessarily in those fields, you might not necessarily understand the terminology and everything. But with the big conclusion of the meta-analysis is that they did see a good benefit with getting journaling for mental health. So it's something that personally I've done for probably 6-7 years now. So I have had like a 4 month period in that time where I wasn't, but other than that I've been kind of constant for like I said, probably 6-7 years or so, as my cat wants attention. And so it's one of those things, in a sense, the way I journal is at the end of the day, kind of date it and be like, okay, this is how my day went and everything. And yeah, kind of in a sense, do that a mental daily check-in for how like I said, my day went and everything. So that's not the only type of journaling that you can do. You can also do a gratitude type of journaling, where you sit there and you write down the stuff that you're grateful for. You could just sit down for maybe 10-15 minutes and do a gratitude list, and just start sitting there and writing down okay, I'm grateful for having a roof over my head, for having food on the table and stuff like that. So that's just another form of journaling that they do mention in this article and everything. So now this doesn't necessarily truncate the effectiveness of getting professional health for your mental illnesses or health and everything. Freaking cat knocking over stuff. But anyway, with journaling, it would definitely be great in conjunction with getting that professional help, along with maybe working especially when it comes to substance abuse and everything. It's definitely something that's could help you tremendously in overcoming your substance abuse and everything. So and with regards to the seven pillars, with the pillar number 6 being mindfulness, is this definitely can plug right into that one that you can do on a daily basis and everything. So, and like I said, you don't necessarily have to do a daily check-in for journaling. Like I said, you could do the gratefulness, being grateful, do a checklist midway through the day or something, or but you also want to make sure that you're getting, in a sense, especially early on when you're just coming off using your substance of choice, and you're stopping your self-destructive behaviors with your substance abuse. You want to, and I'm always going to reiterate, you want to get the professional help first and foremost, so that way, yeah, you can get yourself on stable ground, at least when it comes to your mental health and everything. So like now, physical health is like, even though like a separate, like it is connected to your mental health and everything. So like what's worked great for me was like when I first started after quitting drinking, was I pretty much hit the gym hard. And like it was like at least for me, but like with my experiences, it's an anecdotal personal evidence and everything. So you kind of have to take that in regards to like yourself as like kind of like, okay, well, this is anecdotal evidence, let me like double check. It's like doing the .com websites and everything. You want to double check and everything. So I went to the gym as like an indirect way to kind of take care of my mental health by taking care of my physical health first. And so like the whole idea of like taking care of your mental health, especially when it comes to substance abuse, is you want to trade self-destructive like bad habits with positive self-promoting habits. So like for instance, instead of like in my example, instead of like going out to the happy hour analogy that I like to use, it's Friday. Instead of going out to like the bar and happy hour and getting drunk with like your fellow drinking buddies that you had, you go to the gym instead, and you set yourself up for like with your bag and everything, so you're tripping it on the way out. So like like, okay, here it is, let me grab it and go. And then when you go to you're going to the gym instead. So this is like with journaling, this is like another way to kind of like also help with not just your mental health but your emotional health and well-being as well. So like there's an adage that says, if you don't control your emotions will control you. So in a sense, like in that regard, you're always going to want to like you can't get rid of your emotions, but you want to be able to control them in a sense. Like this is another benefit of journaling, is that like when you do that check-in, you can sit there and check out like, okay, well, where am I also emotionally? What pisses me off? Like, okay, I'm like at work or whatever, and like maybe there's certain coworkers that are pissing me off and everything. So like I can sit there and like I use journaling as a method to sit there and try to check in to like be like, okay, well, why are these coworkers pissing me off and everything? So like an example, like substance abuse, like they could be people that are still going out, and like they might only go out on like the Friday nights and everything, and that might be their one day of drinking and everything. And so that could be like okay, so like when it comes to emotional health, this is what pisses me off, is like they're still going out, and like I can't, because like I know if they're the type of people that can maybe have 2 or 3 drinks and go home and be fine. Okay, I'm not one of those people, like 2 or 3 drinks and I'm just getting started type of deal. So you can use journaling as like a form of like a check-in with you for not just your mental health but your emotional health as well. So like you can tie this into like a lot of like the aspects that you like find in like in a sense the SMART recovery program with the rational emotional behavioral therapy, the cognitive behavioral therapy. So you can kind of tie this into that as well, and then tie it into like in tandem with getting the professional help and everything. You can like bring your journal, like, hey look, I've been like you go to like a counselor or a psychologist, hey look, I've been doing this for like the last 2 weeks, and like they could have suggested you, like, hey look, this is working great for me. And so the great thing is about journaling though is like you don't necessarily need professional help to be able to do it, to reap the benefits of being able to kind of like do that mental and emotional check-in. Now you can all whether you do it daily, weekly, monthly, or whatever, it'd kind of be up to you and everything. Now I'm going to obviously say like you should do it daily, so that way you can kind of like that gives you the ability to go back and like oh hey look, the Wednesday last week I was getting pissed off at this, but then like Thursday this week I was actually getting kind of happy with this outcome and everything. So like you can see the spectrum of like your emotions and everything. So like I'll reiterate that you get in that like emotional and mental check-in and everything, so you can control your emotions, so you're not necessarily having like a subjective irrational response to like every little thing. So you can take that step back and kind of detach yourself and kind of in a sense look at things more objectively and be like, and look at things, patterns, like, okay, well, these are the 5 things that piss me off or get me angry, get me like get me into those negative emotions. And then you can start thinking like, okay, well, then you think on on solutions for those like things that like get you angry, that get you mad or like sad or whatever. So like, okay, I get mad, let me redirect that into maybe going in to do a lifting session at the gym or whatever. Or maybe if I'm sad, like maybe I can I'm not necessarily up to the mood for lifting, I can in a sense branch off my training to get outside for a walk or something. And so like, it gives you the just another tool to be able to check in for your mental health and everything. And like, it's a perfect thing that you can fit in to pillar number 6 as well. So like, because this is just another aspect of the 7 pillars that you can use, that you don't necessarily need an outside source to help with.